Hey everybody, it's your girl Sherry, and welcome back to another episode of Alleged Actually Podcast. I am joined tonight by my Bravo bestie Joey.
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Listen, I don't know about Joey, but I have missed you guys. We've been missing in action a little bit. I've had some family stuff, some death in the family, and had to take care of those things. But gotta say, y'all, this is what makes me happy. So I'm happy to be back here talking to you about the shows that we love. So, with that being said, if you are new here, welcome. Over here, we do reality TV recaps, and occasionally we get into some pop culture stuff. So, if that's your thing, go ahead and make yourself at home and hit that subscribe button, honey. If you are already an actualizer and you tune in, welcome back. Tonight, we are going to do our recap on the Valley. And per usual, you know, me and Joey have our ADHD moments. We're going to get into what we think of Real Housewives of Miami. We might slide a little Atlanta in there. Who knows? You got to watch till the end to find out. So, just saying. And make sure you guys slide in those comments to let us know what you're thinking about the shows and what we're talking about. And always give us the thumbs up, please. So, Joey.
Yes.
What are you thinking about our beloved The Valley?
I mean, the show is still like delivering. And I will say, for a show that I'm so obsessed with, it has some of the worst people I've ever seen on reality TV. And that's a lot because, as you know, we watch a lot of reality TV.
We do.
I definitely watch like an unhealthy amount. And it's just like, I mean, I know that we're going to get into like Jax, but I mean, like, it's like something I've like never seen. And I honestly feel like it's at the point now where Bravo like needs to like make a decision. Like, he does not deserve any kind of platform. The fact that he was like on Watch What Happens Live like blew my mind. Like,
Joey.
I mean, he lost every poll like I've never seen in all these like years. But like, why are you giving this man a platform? It's so toxic. It's so dark. It's so gross. It's so disgusting. I just like am baffled. Yet at the same time, I might honestly say that I hate Janet more.
Oh, she's up there. Yeah. No, for real. She gets more and more disgusting every episode.
Yeah.
Just when I think, girl, you have tapped in as the biggest villain, she comes with something new.
Yeah, I don't know how she has any friends. I don't know how the friends that she has like aren't like, girl, like, what are you doing? Like, it's really bad. And she's like an equal opportunity hater. She just goes after any and everyone.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if you've been her friends for decades, you're someone like new. She is vicious.
She is vicious. She is. She really is. And the amount of distaste, and a tasteful way of putting it, that she's getting from the fans. I know when Jason was on Watch What Happens Live, he tried to like allude to it, like, you know, it wasn't fair. Like, but I don't like him either. Whenever I sat over the fence, but now I've made my decision. I don't like you, Jason.
No, not at all.
You're a gaslighter, and you are not perfect. I will say, Joey, I was thinking the same thing. So when I watch What Happens Live, and he was on there, number one, I agree he had no business having the platform. And Andy even alluded to the fact, like, yeah, many people are just angry that you're even here. So I'm like, okay, so you guys know that, yet you still put him on. Andy did his grilling, but let me just say, from the responses from Jax, this is classic narcissism at its worst case. And if Bravo does not stop, I mean, everything can't be for a rating. You will get your first, and maybe because y'all, I watch a lot of Snapped, a lot of Dateline, but listen, I'm scared. I'm scared for Brittany. He's unhinged. Even when he was on Watch What Happens Live, his energy.
It's so dark. It's so like disturbing.
Twisted and dark, is it not?
Yeah, it's like, it's really like uncomfortable to like watch.
And Schwartz, I have to give him credit because he so rarely stands up. He's just always kind of like, you know, in his own way, he was admitting that Jax isn't right in his own way. As best he can, because he's Schwartz, you know, he's a nice guy, but even he was just like, it just feels bad. It feels bad. I feel for Brittany. I wonder in life when she really finds her true happiness, is he ever going to let her really be happy?
No.
Mm-mm. No. Nope. Well, y'all, with that being said, we're going to get right right into the recap. So we want to highlight a little bit of episode 10 when Jax actually got out of rehab. Jesse, of course, was the one that picked him up. Who else, right? I mean, birds of a feather. No, you know what? That's a lie. I will not put Jesse in the same category. No, that's not. It's not fair. I mean, Jesse has his stuff, but he is not a Jax, so that's not
No,
even fair.
definitely not. Definitely not. He
No,
made Jesse look very, very good. Husband of the year.
absolutely. Yeah. So we're just gonna really touch on the like light points. We're not deep diving in 10. Joey, I just wanted to get your thoughts on, when he was picked up and he and Jesse were in the car. Again, did you not get the sense that he legit learned nothing?
No, I didn't think that he was learning anything when he was in there, like rage
No.
texting. Plus, again, we have to go back to this like weird, like halfway, like rehab program where he like had his phone, was rage texting. He was like coming and going. So he was like at like their house. Like, what is this?
House? I don't know. And Andy asked, was he comfortable? And he dropped the name. God, I wish I'd have wrote it. I didn't write it down. But he
I'm sure it's
actually
all
said
over
the
the
name.
internet, but it's
Oh, of
crazy to
course.
me. And
Yeah.
like,
Psych
you paid
something,
30
but
grand for what? Nothing. It didn't do anything.
not a thing. If anything, it gave him folks that paid him more attention and fed his victim mentality. It was sickening to watch.
Yeah.
Literally sickening.
Because he came out with like the same song and dance. He's the victim, Brittany this. I feel like there was like no reflection, like no accountability. It's just like, it's almost like sad because I feel like here's someone where they're just like, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Like there is like no saving. I feel like this is just who he is. This is going to be who he is for the rest of his life. And it's going to be a very sad, toxic, lonely life, I think, because everyone like knows who you really are because you're on TV. So like,
oh, this season, we always knew he wasn't the best guy, but this season he's been completely exposed for who and what he truly is. And I know that I make fun of the fact that Brittany says all the time, you're 45 years old. But when she said it last night, I thought, you know what, girl? Point taken. I mean, you're not going to change a 45-year-old man unless he wants to be changed. And this man has deeper issues than he just doesn't get. It's in him, all over him. Like even his friends, and they're not the best guys, but you can see them, they're taken aback. Like, whoa.
Yeah. And like at some point, like the friendship support has got to stop because
they need to stop.
At this point, it's not really you being supportive. It's just you enabling this bad behavior.
So let's talk about the men's dinner when they all got together. Okay. And I know you're going to agree with me on this one. Were you not disgusted when Jax happily flipped the script on poor Danny saying, like, hey, my problem is really not drinking or drugs. My problem is anger. But, Danny, you really have I was like, no, you did not, sir.
But first of all, Jack should know nothing about what's going on with Danny because you were in rehab. So, like, why are you so focused on outside those four walls? Because it was a sham of a rehab program.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. He was being fed every move they made. And I'm like, good gracious. He knew. I mean, you didn't have to catch him up, honey. He knew everything. You're right. Coming right out. All the stories, all the things that had been going on. I guess his ego wouldn't let him otherwise not. He would have worn someone down to give him the tea or whatever. But the man's dinner, they all get together. Jason does his whole thing of, still, and I don't get Jason's obsession with Danny and trying to, he's doing Janet's work, but I'm just like, how many times are you going to come back to Danny and say, bro, I'm so sorry? And then do it again.
Because it's insanity. It's insanity, right? We always say, like, words are words. It's like your actions. No, Jason is going to just follow his miserable like, little wife wherever she like goes and does whatever she like wants. And it's like insane. And then you claim like, oh, like Danny's one of my best friends. I miss this. Dude, shut up.
Lies. Lies, complete lies. The only other thing, only other thing that came out of episode 10 was Michelle had her thing about her mother. Her mother is sick. No, so let me not make light of that. Her mother's got stage 4 cancer. And she was saying that Jesse would not allow Isabella to go and visit with her mom, which was a very wrong thing to do. But when he was further prompted, he said that he absolutely would allow that, but he wanted them to have a conversation with Isabella, who's 5, about the possibility of what it looks like to a child, about the possibility of death and what that means or whatever. I don't know if that's true. I still think he was being spiteful.
Yeah,
I hope not. But
I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he was.
You're probably right, Joey. Last big takeaway from episode 10 was the party. So Zach is finally reconnected with his love, Benji, and they are moving in together. So he wanted to do a welcome home party. And since his place was a little small, Jesse allowed them to use his home. Now, okay, let's get to it, Joey. So how about how Jax invites himself? He feels entitled to be to a party because he's 30 days in rehab. And again, priorities mixed up. I've seen where people have been bashing Brittany a little bit, which I think is ridiculous. Jax has not reached out to her for cruise. He got out. He had the dinner with the boys. He got Botox, haircut. Decides it's time for this party. You know what I'm saying? Where in there did Cruz fit, and where did Brittany keep him from you? You didn't ask.
I think that, he cares about Cruz when the camera's rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I think he likes to try to put on a show, but I don't think that he knows, well, obviously not during filming in real life time, but that the show isn't to edit him just for how he is. So, you think that we don't know you're only talking about Cruz when the cameras are rolling?
Yep.
Dude, come on. And you had no right being at that party. You don't even like Zach. And I don't care whose house it was. It wasn't Jess's party. It was Zach's party.
With Zach's party, you don't like Zach. Zach don't like you. When he came in, let's go to toddler mode. When he says, but you don't come to my bar anymore. Again, and now I'm with Brittany. You're 45. And you result to, you can't come to my bar anymore. And he's like, well, tell your partners because they let me in all the time.
Yeah. And the way Jax acted about them throwing that Brits party at Jax's
wasn't that
so
stupid?
Crazy. So first of all, you're mad at Brittany. She had nothing to do with it. It was her friends. Number 2, you got the bar when you were married. So let's be honest, that is pretty much her bar too.
Yes,
Third of all, so you can throw chairs and punch walls and be crazy, but how dare Brittany have a party at your bar? Is he for real?
He is so. Every time I see him talk and act, when I see that he's dead serious, I'm like, dude, I'm literally speechless, and it takes a lot for me to be speechless. I'm just like, you seriously, you're mad at them for defacing your bar. It was, first of all, it was to help her, brighten her spirits. It wasn't permanently done, even it is Brittany's bar too. You're right. He's just so juvenile and so stupid. I literally, I can't. And I hate this for Brittany, but let this be a lesson, ladies. What you see is what you get. Sometimes you can't change. What you see is truly what you're going to get. When she said I do, she was saying I do to all of what she was getting before, all the cheating, the lying, the wilding out, all that. That's what she said I do too, and that's exactly what she got. So,
yep, you got that right.
Thing I wanted to laugh and think again about how ridiculous is his burner account. The whole Frank, what was it?
I don't know, but though, kudos to Brittany for putting that on camera.
I'm so glad. He looks so stupid. I was like, dude, Frank Drennan. I was like, that is so. Is that not sad, Joey? Could you imagine being a middle-aged
And again, though,
woman?
right? Let's go back to 45.
At 45, she's right. I laughed up and was like, now I'm like, I'm feeling her with the 45. That's his big age. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. And back to the party, though. Kudos to Zach for being the only person at that party that didn't cower to Jax. It's so weird. And you know what? Like, came in fearless.
Loved
and
it.
like gave Jax what he needed. Like everyone else, like is just tiptoeing around, like nothing's wrong. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like what?
Yeah. You're right. And you know what? When he was like, this is my show, he's like, it wasn't for 30 days. Child, listen, I fell out. Oh, it was good to me. It was so good. I was like, Zach, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It was so good. Everything he tried to come at him, he was not intimidated. And he's like, well, I need to talk to Brittany. Brittany don't want to talk to you, but that's not your business. Zach was just boom, 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 giving it to him. And let me just say this. Brittany, if you don't think you have a real one, that is a real one right there. Listen, even with all your mess and you choosing Janet, he's still kissing the paint for you every time. That is a real one right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I will say, for a moment, I almost did feel a little bad for like Michelle. Not that who has the worst husband's a competition, because if it was, Brittany would win. Yeah. But like, I do understand, like, what she's saying. And, like, you know, Britt got this party at the bar, and they're doing this, and they're doing that, and it's all about Brittany. And, like, she's like, I have a narcissist husband that I'm trying to, like, divorce. Like, he's being awful to me. I'm assuming that because they're all friends that they know about her mom. I mean, I don't know.
I know.
Like, I mean, the girl's, like, going through it, and here she is attending every event, trying to be supportive of Brittany. And I was like, you know what? Ugh. I dislike her, but I understand how she feels.
Totally. That's hard. And you're right. Not only is she also going through a divorce, her mother is terminally ill. You would think, but so you're right. As much as she gets on my nerves, she definitely did have a point. And it is surprising that they're not. I mean, they'll jump in there every now and again, but they're not supportive of her like they are of Brittany. I mean,
no.
And I honestly, I think part of that is because she's got Aaron. You know, they feel like she's moved on, she's good. You know, and I think they're just not. They're not as focused because she moved along so quickly. But they've got all this tension, and it's hard to be in the group together, and you know, so there is still some things, you know, Jesse's not making it. But I feel bad. And let me say this, I feel bad for Jesse too. And we'll get to that, but I feel bad for him too.
Oh, yeah. She's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, really, I don't know. Jax has nothing to complain about when it comes to Brittany, whereas I'm sure Jesse can complain for a very, like, long time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because Michelle is a nasty, nasty woman.
She is. So, y'all, any more that you want to say on episode 10 before we move into last night's episode?
No, not really. I just thought that at the end when Jax was, I don't know if he was at the party. It had to be at the party. He was wearing a hoodie that said Violent Gents. And I thought, what a poor choice of clothing.
Very much so. Yeah.
Like, what a poor choice of clothing. And I also want to know, is he showering? Because every confessional we saw from rehab, he was in the same exact outfit. And now, like, we're in Los Angeles in the summer. I've been there in the summer. It's very hot. And he's always in, like, hoodies and, like, thermals. And I'm like, dude, like, are you okay?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Something's very much amiss there. Yeah.
This friend group is just they're really a disaster. But you know what? Thank God there's cameras to capture the disaster because it's
right. Because it's so entertaining. Y'all, it's so good. So we will roll into episode 11 last night, which was El Coyote Ugly. We open up with Kristen and Luke having dinner at their house, or a meal. I don't know if it was dinner. They were eating at their house, and he was basically saying, this is, a good spot within a year. We was looking at having children, and it's just good to see Kristen so settled and so happy, and Luke is so solid and such a safe space for her. Just goes to show, and I don't think that, I mean, you could get there on your own, but I'm saying when you're with the right person, then you're in a safe space, because I think a lot of her crazy was she had these crazy partners, and it just amped her crazy up. Kristen has grown so much, and she has done the work. So I mean, I think she's done that on herself. Not to give Luke that credit, but I am saying that it's nice to see her in a healthy relationship. She's so settled and so even. It's nice to see.
And like the voice of reason on this show, never thought we'd say those words.
Never.
Super like supportive of people, super likable. I mean, I think that like Luke is just such like a TV gem. I just think that he brings like nothing but good vibes. He's so sweet. He like says it like it is, but even in like a nice way. I just like love them.
I do. I really do. And that scene set the tone. I was just like, this is so good for her. I really think he's her forever. She was saying that she didn't, necessarily see herself raising her children in LA, but she looked back. She's been there for 20 years. And so now it's kind of like it's home. So there they are. So thought it was cool. It's like watching someone grow up before your eyes. I was here for it. Then the next scene, we have Danny and Nia and Zach and Benji meeting up to discuss getting ready to plan this trip. So Luke is getting ready to propose, and he wants to do it on a group trip. They're going to Maui, which is amazing. And I thought it was really sweet that he, like Nia and Danny, were really, enamored that he would trust them with something so important. That's really cool. And yeah. And of course, Zach and Benji come along, and they are including them in helping them with this, though, because Nia's like, I know you know. And Zach's like, well, I could just tell something was, changing, how sweet he's been to her, how, whatever. And he says that he picks up, I guess Kristen's nickname is Detective Doty, and he's picked up a thing or two from her. So he was saying, he was feeling the vibes, but a good detective never reveals their sources. And then they're talking about how Luke wants everybody invited. But as y'all know, Nia is not, and Danny really at this point, are not feeling Janet and Jason, and so they're like, we're going to leave that to you, Zach. We'll take care of everybody else, but because if it was left to us, we wouldn't invite them. And I'm thinking they should have been left out anyway because of the way she did, and we get to that.
But like that's the thing, like I don't care if it's like a fake group trip, like the engagement, whatever. There's no need for Janet and Jason to be on that trip.
Not for that reason, not because of the context of why they're going. Why should they be there?
And like, let's be honest, you really aren't getting along with almost the whole group. Your who are your friends? Michelle? Like, I don't understand. Like, Zach doesn't like you guys. Kristen doesn't like you guys. Danny doesn't like you. Nia doesn't like you. Like, what do you? Like, you know what I mean? Jasmine having like, what are you doing here?
Right? Why are you going? Why?
And you are so flagrant not inviting people to like your trip. So I'd be like, you're not invited. Bye. And it's the perfect excuse because Danny and Nia are planning the trip. So I'd be like, we're not inviting you. Piss off.
Exactly. Honey, they are some good ones because you're right. And well, she literally says it when we get to that scene. But if it was reversed and they were planning something, let's say it was for Michelle, they surely would have omitted them. So
yeah, and that's an inside thought. Like, I don't know. Again, she's so comfortable being so awful. It's crazy.
Gross.
And this is her when she knows cameras are around. Imagine her when there's no cameras.
You aren't lying. I mean, just gross. And it's like the more she does it, it's like she gets fueled up and she gets worse and worse. And the stuff that she says, and it's so freaking unnecessary. But at any rate, Zach says in his confessionals, I love Zach in his confessionals, by the way, that
Dak
is
is amazing.
very, yes, he tears them up. There's always some kind of one liner or something in there that you can always use every week. Zach
There
is,
is, but I'm fascinated because I hated him season 1. I thought he was
yeah,
so annoying. I thought he was rude. I thought he was like whatever. I love him this season.
me too, me too.
Absolutely love him.
I do too. I'm living for Zach this season. I really am. He said, isn't it pretty much ironic that last year when Janet had a trip, that Kristen and him were omitted from it when they went to Big Bear. And this year, he's in charge of inviting Janet and Jason on this trip. And he said, he was saying, Alanis Morissette, I think we have some new lyrics for you. I was like, I think so. Yeah. So back at the lunch, they decide that they're going to go ahead and let Kristen and, well, Luke already knows, but let Kristen in on it. And so they FaceTime her, say they're going on a group trip to Hawaii. And so Kristen's all happy to go. Y'all, then the next scene is over at Jesse's house where his life coach, Scott, shows up and it's basically told Jesse that, you know, you're really part of this group. You know, you're in the men's group and you all, you know, need to get together. And because only men can understand what other men are going through. And I was like,
Right?
baby,
It was giving Louis from New Jersey.
very much so. That creepy, oh God. Yeah, it was.
It was so weird.
So weird. And I was just like, ugh. Um, I think Jesse is just, you know, he's trying so hard. I really think he's struggling. So I get his need. I appreciative that, you know, he had the wherewithal to get a life coach and not spiral like a Jax. I think he's trying. Um, but at any rate, you know, he's saying this is a good way that they can kind of hash things out and focus on their mental health altogether. And so all the guys show up.
Which I did like love, even though it was weird.
Yeah.
It's great
Yeah.
that they all showed up because nowadays, you know, it's like taboo for like men to show emotions. Like that's like so crazy. Like that needs to be like normalized. It's okay to like show like emotion and vulnerability.
Absolutely.
Although the whole thing itself was like a little odd, but anyway, I'm not blind to being appreciative that they all showed up and partook.
That was big. You're right. Honestly, that says a lot. When they all get there, Scott has the guys get in like a hug circle. And then Danny says, he speaks up first and says he's really glad that they're doing this because they've got the trip coming up. And this is a way that they can kind of like get all the things out they need to get out. And so they can go and have actually a fun trip. And so, of course, Jax has to get himself a moment, and he lets the guys know he's not going because he doesn't want to make Brittany feel uncomfortable and he wants to hang out with his kid. Now, Joey, first of all, I don't believe that. So what do you think is really going on there?
Well, I don't know. First of all, no, you have no right to go on this trip whatsoever. No one likes you. I mean, like, honest to God, like, you are a disaster. You need a timeout. I mean, like, I just can't see Brittany just, like, she's not leaving the cruise with Jax the whole time that they're away.
Surely not. And I know she's not.
Right. No. So what do we, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly believe that it is sad, but I don't think that there's any helping him. I think that's just who he is. This is who he's going to be. And I mean, God bless Brittany, but she's going to have to figure out how to like navigate this nightmare for the rest of her life.
And she's going to have to really be vigilant about protecting herself and her son. If that means protective orders, whatever she needs to do, she's going to need to do it because he's the kind that, I mean, unless sometimes it becomes something legal or, you know, he finds himself locked up. I mean, he feels entitled to her and to everything else in life. I mean, he tried to explain it on Watch What Happens Live by saying, he has control issues and, his ego, but there was still no accountability. And he tried to still slide in some blame with Brittany, but Andy would try to pull him back. Listen, it's just not good. But at that point, Scott talks to them about, how men, how that when you hold on to stuff, like you have this list that they have to get out. And he wants them to do it so that, like, the guys stand up and the one that's talking has to put his hand on the other guy's heart or chest and talk about the issue and say, like, you made me feel like whatever. And Jesse starts it off with Luke. And I thought, because when he first said, I was like, what? But they don't have any beef. But I forgot last season.
I know, but it's funny. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, what beef do y'all have? But I mean, what he said to me sounded a little bit crazy. But if it was bothering him, good on him for getting it out. But he said that his blind loyalty to his girlfriend made him feel angry, and it made him want to be aggressive. But he's willing to let it go, and they hug. I was like, what?
Again, we know that, like, Hollywood and LA is like the land of, like, delusion, but, like, you're gonna let it go? You physically attacked people in a hotel hallway.
Yeah.
Defending your cheating wife. Like, I don't know. I don't understand what's happening.
Don't understand it either. It is
if
very,
anyone
very
should be apologizing and letting it go, it should be, like, reversed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry for attacking Kristen all of, like, last season.
Absolutely.
Like, what?
Listen. Got nothing. At this point, Jack stands up and puts his hand on Scott. Scott hasn't put his hand on him. Started crying his little crocodile tears.
Ugh.
It's very performative, y'all. It's very performative. You have to watch. I mean, he just, like I said, it's to me, it's fascinating, scary, and disgusting all at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, he can, like, turn those tears on.
Yeah, he can. Oh yeah, totally. So he basically says he's having a really rough time with his life right now, and he's a very angry human being. He acknowledges that he takes it out on everyone else, especially his wife. And the Scott guy, I mean, I get what he's doing, but I was like, dude, he's like, people love a good redemption story, and people have been watching you, and that little boy that's in there screaming to come out and be vulnerable and cry. You're doing it. You're modeling how that should be done. And, he's proud of him for showing up, and he's here for him. And I was like, okay. You say so.
I mean, he probably just did it for camera time. Let's be honest.
Probably. I mean, now we're talking about him, so I'm sure he'll get more clients. I mean, let's be clear. Jason is up next with Danny, and Danny actually puts his hand on Jason's chest, and he tells him he loves him, but he definitely didn't show that last week. I hate that Danny keeps all this apologizing, but
always taking the high road. Him and Nia always taking the high road.
Always. And it's just like, y'all, make them feel it for a little bit longer, please. This is crazy.
Or at some point, be like, I have to be honest. I, like, love you, but F your wife.
That part. Because she's just gross. I mean, really. He tries, but you're his blind loyalty. I mean, okay, so this is why he should be loyal to his wife. But I'm saying, like, bad behavior is bad behavior. Like, you shouldn't rock with it. Like, you should be like, okay, maybe in private, correct her and be like, girl, if we're going to be in this friend group, you might need to tone this all the way down. It is a lot, and it's unnecessary. These are people that you call friends. I mean, some of the stuff that you make a big deal is totally not a big deal.
Yeah, or is none of your business.
Right. But at any rate, he said that the things that he said to his wife, he shouldn't have said. Yes, you should have, Danny. And because what did he do? Call her a snake? I mean, he could have said worse. He probably should have said worse.
Let me tell you, I would have said worse.
God knows I would have said worse. Listen, woo. And he said he feels really bad for it. And Jason says he appreciates it, and they hug. But then in confessional, Jason is like, listen, Danny's a genuine guy, so he 100% believes him, but someone can apologize all day, and unless they make actual changes, what's the point?
You know, at least he's apologizing. What the hell is your wife doing?
Nothing. Unless she's cornered or she wants to do something, then you get an underhanded, quick little, oh, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have. So Jason's like, he's not at a place where he can fully let it go, but he's going to work on it. And they hug, and it's not exactly what Danny wanted to hear, but he does acknowledge that it's going in the right direction and that he can only change himself and continue to grow. Good on you, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, Danny is the number one guy in the group.
Agreed. Completely agree. 1,000,000,000%.
No questions asked.
Him and Zach. But Zach doesn't really get a chance to be in the guy group. Sometimes they don't really do him like that. So as far as the guy, I'm not saying he's not a guy. I'm saying that the guys, the Neanderthal guys, don't include him, which he probably doesn't want to be. So yeah, there's that. But yes, out of them, Danny is number one, as well as I think Zach is too. But so Jason says that him and his wife had this dark relationship with Danny and Nia, and it's not fully repaired at this point. And Jesse chimes in with the conflict had been about Danny's drinking, and not so much about his drinking, but the fact that he's hiding it.
Ugh.
Yeah, this next part really makes me like, why, Danny? You know, and I wonder, and we'll talk about it, and I'm going to get your thoughts. So let me just come out with this. So Scott asked Danny for clarity on this. Like, he's like, so do you mean like you literally go to a bar and like you order like, you know, a few drinks, drink them, and then like when you're around the group, you present as if you just only had this one drink? And Danny agrees. He's kind of like, yeah. And so Scott was like, he went on to state, so basically do that. So like you wouldn't want them to know like you had 3 drinks instead of like the one. And he admits, yeah. So Jason in confessional is like, well, Danny admitting that is a huge step forward because he's not only admitting it to them, but he's admitting it to himself. And Scott says, when you're hiding drinking, there's an implied dishonesty. So Danny admits there's areas he can work on, but every time people are coming after his character, it doesn't sit well with him. And then Scott goes on to what I feel like is generalize men by saying, well, you know, that's just sneaky, but we're all sneaky and squirrely, you know, as men. It's the whole thing was so weird. And then he's like, I mean, you know, am I right, guys? Like, do you all think you're squirrely? And of course, Jason wants the definition of squirrely. Child, at any rate, it ends with Scott encouraging the men to do better.
This guy doesn't know any of them. He only knows Jesse. So, like, shut up.
Agreed.
And I'm sorry, if I was friends with these villains, too, and they were so judgmental of every move that I make, like binoculars on me, I would also try to hide any drinking I did because Lord knows, while everyone else is drinking, you have a couple drinks, they're only going to focus on what you did.
It to me is so mind blowing. I mean, you're in a group that gets again, and I'll say it, on the trip that they went on. Jesse was smashed the whole trip. I mean, torn up. So I just don't understand the hypocrisy in the group.
Yeah,
but
also like him when he goes out and they have a babysitter, which we know does not happen that often.
Yeah.
Because they have 3 under 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, or almost 4 under 4 or whatever. But anyway.
Yes.
Him going out and having some drinks, even if he does get hammered once in a while, does not negate the fact that he's a hard worker, the fact that he's a great dad, the fact that he does all these things. Like, I don't understand like what we're doing here.
I really feel like I think what they should more say to him and even maybe or maybe not. You know, like how you have some people just aren't good drunks, right? I think the problem is he gets a little silly, or sometimes you have that friend that'll go and have one too many and they go dark, or you're like, it's the tears of this. I mean, he's not like that, but I'm just saying, like, his personality gets altered. He gets a little different. So I think that is what they're really alluding to. It's like, once he gets past a certain point, he's maybe not fun to be around. Say that, but
Right?
don't make it out to be like this man is habitual, like hidden closet alcoholic, and then like every time you go out, he hides where he takes like 50 shots and then comes out with one little Truly or whatever seltzer, and like, oh no, I didn't drink. I don't believe that. I believe, like you said, they don't get out much. He wants to get it in while he's out. Can't say I blame him, honey, because it's few and far in between. And, it just may not be the best drunk, so everybody's not a happy, or some people just chill. He just might be a little much when he's drinking. Maybe he's annoying. I don't know. But let's just don't make it what they're trying to make it. I think that's so irresponsible of them to do. I do. I don't think that's right. At any rate, now we go to the ladies. The ladies are meeting at El Coyote for some Mexican food, and everyone arrives. And in confessional, Janet admits she's a little bit nervous to see Nia because things are still not great with them. And by the way, we didn't mention, but the two of them had a confrontation at the party at Jesse's house. So this is where the tension is rolling into on episode 11. She confronted Janet on the things that she was saying about Danny and the drinking and, how she, so that's why they're still kind of like not feeling each other. And she was like, it's girls' night, but so what's the worst that can happen? So, right?
Yeah, those are a group of Bravo women sitting around a dinner table. What could happen?
What could happen? Imagine that, right? And we get to see Sheena is at this gathering as well. So Sheena is there, naturally, yes. And so Kristen leans in to Nia and she asks her about Janet and her confrontation at Jesse's. And Nina told her it was very intense. And she's like, look, I am not going out of my way to make any conversation with Janet. And Nia in confessional says things between her and Janet are not good. She said she just focuses on everyone else's marriages and relationships, but no one ever hears about hers. And she finds that very interesting.
We don't hear about Janet at all.
No.
Janet shares nothing about her life.
Nothing at all. No. It's like they're the perfect little... I mean, and what she accuses Nia and Danny of doing, her and Jason do. Because, literally nothing.
No, like, I don't even know, like, does she have a job? Like, I don't know anything about her, I feel. Like,
she doesn't show anything. No, you just see them at the house. Sometimes they're with the baby. And it's like, other than that, there's nothing. You don't know a whole lot. She'll, like, do a little bit of, like, comical stuff. Like, she'll allude to the fact that she might have grown up, maybe not with a silver spoon in her mouth. Maybe she's a little different. But you don't really get a chance to know really much about her. So.
No, like, where are you from? Do you have family? Like, what goes on? Like, I know nothing.
Nothing. Literally nothing. At this point, I don't want to know, but I mean, it might, but it may give some context as to why she's just awful. I mean, ADHD moment, but we understood after we met Sutton's mom on Beverly Hills why she was the way she was. Sometimes when they let us into some of their background, you start to say, okay, well, I see why she's like that. You know what I mean? But no, we don't have any of that. So we're just going to think she's awful just because she's awful. Yeah.
That's her choice.
It's her choice, right? So Nia announces to everyone at the table about the Hawaii trip is coming up, to which Michelle says, Aaron is coming. Everybody's like, okay, yay. Girl is, y'all.
You know why? Because I felt a moment of compassion for her for a minute. So she had to remind me why I hate her so much.
I know, Joey. Like, I get it. Like, that's supposedly her she's really holding on to him. Like maybe he's her safe space, or whatever. I get it, but it's just like, how much more can you throw it in this man's face? And you have to remember, you are not fully divorced yet. Some of that stuff can really backfire on you. I mean, I don't know how they do it in LA, but in North Carolina, if you're separated and you are, I mean, now it depends, but because clearly Jesse's not over her. So if you have a bitter spouse and you are just meandering around, I mean, particularly if said relationship could have spilled into, we have in North Carolina alienation of affection. So I'm just saying, we could get you for that. LA
really?
Untraceable. Oh yeah, that's still a thing. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Connecticut, we are no blame.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can do like whatever you want up here. It's like the Wild Wild West.
We're still in the Bible Belt, so here it's like no, you don't. We can get you. You cheat. You can be proven. We can come for your stuff. I actually have a former coworker that won a case of alienation of affection. Yes. And then
putting it on TV, so
listen, and then y'all, the dude, her husband, ended up leaving the girlfriend and coming back to her after she got the girl's money. I'm not lying. That's true tea, y'all. True tea. Oh my gosh, the things that go on in that base, honey. I could write a book, and maybe someday I will. Stay tuned. At any rate, getting back to the valley. Michelle in confessional says she's so excited because Jesse's is not going to be playing his games with Aaron around, so she considers this a win-win situation. Jasmine says Zach told her there may be some surprise thing going on, and Jasmine gets really into it, and Nia's like, girl, shh. Because you can just see Kristen like, surprise thing. I guess no one clued Jasmine in.
But what do we know? Zach has a ginormous mouth.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Because everything always comes back to Zach.
It does, doesn't it?
And like, not only do you know this is a important trip because you know what's going on, you shouldn't have said anything to Jasmine.
I know. And let her been surprised.
And then we have Michelle over here on her bullshit, yelling at Kristen for, again, something that Zach did. Like, I just don't understand.
It is so, that's the thing I don't understand. This group where, and then we even get Janet that gives Nia and Danny some blame by way of, they are so crazy to me. Like, y'all, you just want to be mad. I mean, yeah. That's when Joey says, Michelle chimes in and she's like, oh, by the way, I need to air something out before we go. And it's the thing with Jenna, who at some point had a relationship with Michelle's boyfriend, Aaron, was at Kristen's housewarming. And she's blaming Kristen for that.
When Zach's the one that said something to Jesse, not Kristen.
Kristen said nothing. Yes.
She said nothing.
No, they even roll the footage as they always do, and you see Zach giving Jesse the tea, and it's so. And Kristen is like, "What?"
It's literally a repeat of last season, where Kristen's being blamed for something that Zach said, and once again, it's Michelle flipping out about it.
Yep.
Michelle needs to do better research. You should never be a reporter or investigator or journalist.
I agree. But for the record, she wants the group to know, listen, Aaron had his thing with Jenna back in 2020. And, Kristen is like, who cares? I mean,
literally no one asked and no one cares besides you, Michelle.
No, everybody was just looking like, and? I mean, really, that's so dumb. That's part of her narcissism. She just can't take it. She can't take it that they know something about her man, and God forbid. So, she had to clear it up. It was just a little thing. Stupid. So she asked, how did Jesse know? Oh, because then she's trying to figure out, okay, listen, how did Jesse know that once upon a time Jenna and Aaron hooked up? And Kristen's like, I don't know, who cares? And we find out, of course, Zach is the one. And Zach in confessional was like, nope, not Kristen, me. I'm the one. I'm the one that said it. Usually it is. It's Zach. But um, at this point, she's playing the victim. She's like, look, you guys know my ex is trying to ruin me. And Kristen said, well, obviously, I wouldn't bring Jenna around places where I knew you and Aaron would be. And then here comes stupid Janet saying, well, you did. You brought her around. She was like, I know. It wasn't even her business. Those girls are better than me. I couldn't. I would tell her, look, you have to go. Just get your stuff and get up from the table and go. I can't.
And like,
I can't do it.
Kristen has to just like at some point like cut her losses. Like, these chicks are not your friends.
No. Every 5 minutes is something.
They are like not your friends. And I honestly, like in this scene, I felt like Janet is trying to do like the thing that hurts like a lot of people. She's trying to self-produce. Mm-hmm. And we can see right through it. And we know Janet was a huge VPR fan. We know Janet is a Housewives fan. She loves Bravo. This is not Housewives. This is a different show. It's a different frame. It's different. It's a whole different aspect. Yeah. You trying to make your Housewives moment on a show like The Valley, you look stupid.
Very stupid. It doesn't land the same because these are supposed to be your friends. It doesn't. Right.
Right.
Dumb. Very dumb. That you would be pressed about, first of all, something that has nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
An irrelevant girl. Michelle and Aaron are very much together. Who cares? That's what Kristen's trying to say. Who cares? And you still want to have your moment. You look dumb.
Dumb.
Yep. So, y'all, in confessional, she's pretty much saying she's frustrated with Kristen acting like she doesn't know anything. And she's like, shut the F up. I know what you're doing. And she's like, she's doing Jesse's dirty work. And if they can't see it, like, come on. And she's like, she said she's tried to take her marriage down, meaning Janet and Jason, their marriage. And now she's coming for Michelle's relationship. Girl, it is not. That is so stupid. And then, so Kristen is like, this conversation I could have had with Michelle, but you have to get in and make it bigger than it needs to be. And that's true. That's what made her look dumber.
Yep.
And then Janet yells out, accountable. The word you can't stand, Kristen. And let me tell you, Kristen has a lot of restraint. Because, I mean, she's doing all this, accountable, and
yeah,
and Jasmine,
but like that's so rich coming from her too.
Oh yeah.
Like, have we ever seen Janet take accountability for anything?
Never. No.
No. Yet I feel like we've seen Kristen on multiple apology tours. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally not landing well, Janet. It's just not. Yeah. No. Jasmine's like, we missed the old Janet. She used to be fun, but now she's literally doing too much. And yeah, and I agree with you, Joey. Her doing too much, I think, is a lot of self-producing. It's like, girl,
100%. But then for her to be like, I don't have like the quote, but she said something about like how she's mad at Kristen for like the ring rumor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so she's like taking it out on like Nia and Dan. What are you, 7 years old?
So stupid. Yeah, she's mad at Nia and Danny because Kristen threw out the ring rumor in defense of them. And so indirectly.
That's what it was, right.
Yeah.
In defending Danny and Nia, she threw out the ring rumor about Jason. Yeah. So now she has to go after Danny and Nia. Like, honest to God, this is like some middle school drama.
So stupid. I know. It totally is.
Yeah. I love to watch it.
I do too. I mean, obviously, right? I could not wait all day. I'm like busting to get off work so I can get on here and like. So yeah. So I mean, it's working. Obviously, I love middle school drama. Okay. Listen. Okay. Well, at this point, Kristen's like, y'all, I feel disrespect. This is so dumb. I'm leaving, as she should. And then Janet's still screaming at her, see ya, go get your to-go box. Ciao. Again, there would have been a lunge at her from across the table had it have been me. But thankfully, Kristen has a lot more restraint than I do. She literally just got up. She hugged Nia, tried to comfort her first because Nia was visibly upset. By this point, Nia's in tears because she's like, this is very intense. It's a lot.
And Janet's like, oh, Nia's trying to gaslight me. Does she even know what the definition is?
Clearly not. Clearly she does not. No.
Is she insane?
That is so dumb. No. Yeah, clearly she does not know what that means.
Now, let me tell you, VPR Kristen would have jumped over like that table.
Yeah, sure would have. Sure would have. She would have took
that had both hands around her neck on like that floor.
That margarita glass would have been upside her head. I mean, real talk. That is some growth, like real growth, y'all.
Yep.
She was unhinged back in the day. That would not have flown at all. Nope. But anyway, Sheena asked Nia if she's okay because now she's crying, and she was like, "It's intense." And then Michelle's like, "Well, why is it intense?" And Nia's like, "Are you serious? You're asking me why? I mean, like, are you not?"
Michelle's sitting at that table with a headphone and blindfolds on. I'm telling you.
Right? You sitting by the girl, you see all her just doing all this and yelling all. I'm like, they're in a restaurant.
Screaming at a restaurant.
Screaming. And it wasn't even about her. So stupid.
And then later when she's like, I had too much to drink. Oh, okay, Danny.
Yeah. Did you get that little slick comment Nia said, oh, that early in the night?
Yeah. Sure did.
I was like, good girl, good girl, good girl. Let that angelic face, don't let it fool y'all. She can slide one out there when she needs to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So, y'all, to wrap up the scene, because it's just more of Janet screaming and talking about stupidity. And she goes after Nia and says, oh, all you do is effing cry. And I'm the one that should be effing crying. It just, the whole thing was so dumb. But all the more reason that it was tense coming to Hawaii, because Jay didn't really need to tuck her tail. Girl, you showed your whole ass at that dinner scene or lunch scene, whatever time of day it was. That was foolish. That was so stupid.
Yeah. So now, I mean, like, just vicious for no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. So stupid.
Again, the only thing I could think of is that she's trying to like self-produce and like make scenes for herself.
That literally,
she has to know, right? If she is a Bravo fan, like she says she is, or everyone else says she is, she knows she's not sharing anything about her life.
Right. So
I guess her only option is to make these dramatic scenes, which are just like landing horribly. Horribly.
I mean, again, if she's such a fan, I'm quite certain she's got to be reading these comments, and people are eating her up.
I think this might be the only thing that the entire Bravoverse agrees on is our hate for Janet.
I know.
I've yet to see a single post, comment, TikTok video. I mean, smoke signal, anything.
Nothing
about one single fan of hers. I haven't seen one.
Yeah. Not one. Literally not one. No. So
which is job, so Janet. Unreal.
I like that. Maybe you'll go down in history as that. Maybe that's your moment.
Maybe most that hated. Is her moment.
Maybe.
Because I'll tell you right now. I mean, even like Lisa Rinna has fans, which I can't. Ramona Singer has fans, which I can't believe. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Freaking Margaret Josephs has fans. Heather Gay has fans, and like here is Teresa Giudice has fans, but I mean Janet, I don't think she has one fan.
I don't think so either.
You know what her one fan is? Jason.
Yeah, there you go. Jason. That's it. That's her fan, y'all. Yeah. A fan club of one. Mm-hmm. Literally. At any rate, after that, y'all, we have their 90s style, elementary style field day, which, it was kind of a filler scene. Not a lot there.
Nothing happened. Ridiculous.
It was dumb. A waste of our TV time. Jax did show up, but again, there was no real interaction. Brittany just ignored the crap out of him, which was good. And they played a couple games, y'all, and there's really nothing there to see. So, moving on. We'll end it with Jax told Kristen, thank you for being nice to him at the Jesse's thing. And she's basically like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you felt bad, you needed that or whatever. And she told him to mind his P's and Q's until after the Hawaii trip. And I'm not sure what that was about, but I don't know if she did not know he wasn't going or what. I did make that note. Not sure. Anyway, at this point, it is time to go to Hawaii. Oh, no. Before we go to Hawaii, we have this. Let's see. Oh, Janet is still talking about the stupid ring thing. Danny and Nia. I'm skipping that because we've already killed that. And then Brittany asked, because they talk after the field day activities, Brittany and Janet. They're catching up. She's talking about the same stupid stuff. And then she's basically like, do you think you'll talk to her in Hawaii? And she doesn't know. And you will if you want to have a good time, because that is Nia and Danny's trip for Luke and Kristen. So, then we go to the jewelry store. Luke is bringing his gecko, or that's what he's told Kristen, but he in fact brings his gecko to the jeweler, Kyle.
Yeah, his jeweler watches his gecko while they're on vacation. Like, that is like the most, honestly, like Los Angeles thing I've ever heard of.
I was going to say, isn't that so LA? I know, but he was happy to take the gecko. And basically he's said he's there to pick up the ring or whatever. He has to make it quick because Kristen has his location, but they're going to visit his grandma the next day. So we find out Luke's grandma also has cancer, which is sad. And they're going to go visit her. And he's telling Kyle he's feeling very unstable right now. I mean, I guess he's torn between feeling sad about the grandma and then so nervous about the proposal in Hawaii. And so he's like, I hope I don't have to bring this ring back, because she says no. And he's like, it's a full carat. She'll say yes. And I'm like, okay, a full carat. Just a carat?
No, it had to be more, because we saw
it looked bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no way that you are out there like living in LA only buying a 1 carat ring.
No, because I'm thinking, no, come on, Luke.
I caught that too, and I thought that was very weird.
I did. I was like, a full carat. Plus how many more? I mean,
people out here buying not 1 full carat rings?
No, absolutely not. No, I refuse. I'm deleting that out of my brain, but I did write it down because he did say it, but I refuse to believe
He did.
He did say it, but I refuse to believe Luke bought Kristen Doty a 1 carat ring.
There's no way.
There is no way. No, we're not. Nope. So anyway, Janet and Jason. Okay, so everybody's kind of having a little chitty chat before they go to Hawaii. I'm not going to get into Janet and Jason. It's too dumb. Nia and Danny talk about not letting Janet and Jason on their trip. Zach and Benji wondering if Janet will wear the Just Engaged t-shirts they bought for everybody over the Luke and Kristen because of the drama. Luke and Kristen are getting ready for the trip. And they talk about Janet and her antics at El Coyote. Kristen has nothing for her, honey. And she says her attempts to be friends is over. Good for you, Kristen. It's time to wrap it up. She's just
Amen. Move it along.
Moving right along. Jax is waiting to have lunch with Brittany. So, y'all, he is in there because he has not had a chance to really talk to her yet. She has him blocked on quite a few things. Hence his need to use the whole Frank Dремon to DM her, which was hilarious. She initially, God, he looked dumb. I was like, wow. And so she had initially agreed that they would go and have a meal and discuss whatever they need to discuss. And, he wants to see Cruz for the cameras. But he's sitting there and he gets a call from Brittany saying, not coming. And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, nope, I woke up to all these DMs. Everybody's sending me DMs of you at the bar. You were drunk. You were with all these girls. Look, nothing's changed. You were in there for 30 days. It didn't do a thing for you. I don't have time for this. She's like, nope, you're already back at the bars. Not dealing with you. And she's like, look, I got everything I need at that house. Basically, she's like, I'm good. I don't need you. And she's like, she thought he was a horrible, vile human being. And he's put her in a horrible situation, which is very, very true. I
Yeah,
mean,
facts. We call that
yeah.
facts.
Oh, 1000% facts. And even his explanation about that, the whole mortgage thing on Watch What Happens Live was just, he is so not a good person, y'all. God knows. And, um, well, Jackson Confessional says, and I saw some fans that were like co-signing him with that. And let's talk about this, Joey. But he says, listen, we're getting divorced, so what he does on his own time is none of her business. Maybe not, but here's the thing that is her business. If he's out getting hammered, fresh out of rehab, and she feels like nothing's changed, then why is she gonna hand her baby to you?
Without like court supervision.
Right.
But also, it's not like he's just like this like normal human like living his life. Where then I'd be like, you know what? She doesn't have any right. But like, you're fresh out of rehab. You're a crazy person. Like, the whole point was that you, right? You, Jax, wanted to change. You're not making any attempts to change.
No.
You came out of this rehab, and we'll say you were in there for 30 days, but apparently you're able to come and go as you please.
Absolutely.
You're still angry. You're still like talking all like this shit. You're still going out and getting hammered and partying. Like, how about when he told them like he's like doing drug tests with his therapist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
Yeah, that
therapist
same
is giving you a
therapist,
drug test?
a
No,
therapist.
sir.
Ain't no way.
What
No,
kind of
he's
back alley
lying.
therapist is that? That is not happening. You're a liar.
He's lying. He's totally lying. He's totally lying. He's like, yeah, and Brittany keeps him at the house. She can drug test him whenever she wants. You would never, and you wouldn't let her. And man,
No, right.
Unless this man was legally mandated to do it, he's not going to do it. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Right.
And he did say, and I can't speak against someone's sobriety, but on Watch What Happens Live, he said he was 201 days sober. And maybe this even Schwartz, you could kind of see his face kind of glaze over, like
sure did. He was like,
yeah, you caught that too.
Yep, not fooling anyone, Jax. Not fooling anyone.
Nah, come on.
You know what we'll do? We'll use like the famous line. He is allegedly 201
allegedly,
days.
Absolutely, allegedly sober for 201 days. Okay. Whatever. So y'all, Brittany's basically like being drunk at the bar. She was like, "You're 45 years old," and I was like, "You know what? This time I'm giving it all to her." She's right. That's a big age to be acting a fool still. And after all that has happened, all that's riding on this, even the ability to see your son, and you still can't get it together.
Because he only cares for the cameras, allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Allegedly, that's true. That's the only time, that cruise seems to be a priority because, good Lord, even if y'all, like if he wanted to do it for cameras, like you could have seen some sort of effort, a phone call, a plead, or you didn't even see that. At first, you saw him getting himself all the way together, honey, being with his bros. He had to be at the party because, look, I've been away 30 days. I'm going to be in the mix. His priorities, you can tell, are so far from anything reasonable, responsible, or that makes sense. This man is stuck at the age of 21, 22. That's generous, maybe even 18. It's ridiculous.
And like, you're not going to Hawaii because you have to focus on yourself and blah, blah, whatever. Were you even invited to Hawaii?
I think he wasn't because, come on, Joey, when is he gonna miss a cash trip? He thinks the show is him. So you think that Jack?
And we all know how well the "It's My Show" worked out for him before.
Exactly right.
I'm sure Lisa Vanderpump loving that. Executive producer Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there you have it. Yeah, if it was me, and I've said this, and we'll get to this at the end, because we're about to wrap up this episode, but I think that decision needs to be made and made soon.
Oh, 100%. And especially, not only for like Bravo and like NBC, like Universal, but with Lisa being like an executive producer, and we know that Lisa does, let's be honest, I love her to death, condone bad behavior a lot of the time and kind of protects, especially
The
like
guy.
toxic like men.
Yeah.
I mean, she has to see that this is like gone like beyond the scope of like normality, like, and how the drama on Bravo like normally is. Like, this is like something else.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lisa, she definitely likes the drama, and she does protect the guys. You know, him, Sandoval. I mean, you know, that's her. But
James
she knows what's
Kennedy.
James. Yeah, James. Oh God, she coddled James. But she also has to know what she's a businesswoman too, and liability is liability, baby.
Yeah.
So
And she will not be part of some ID documentary one day. So
I know, right? Because if she doesn't let him go, she very well could be. But
yeah.
just saying. So y'all, at this point, everybody is in Hawaii. Um, they get to the hotel. Zach gets updated to the presidential suite, and you know, Luke asks if they had the presidential suite. They're not. They're the ones beside him. Zach asks Nia if she thinks he should give it to him, or would that be like giving it away?
No, it would give it away.
I mean, right. So, and then Luke is like, well, I mean, I don't see why he didn't give us a presidential suite. He knows. And I'm thinking, dude.
Hello, are you like new here? This is a surprise engagement trip.
Right.
It was a
I
trip
was
that
like,
it was a friend trip, and everyone's on an even playing field. Why would he give you his presidential suite?
he would, right. In normal settings, he would never, right? So why would he do it now? And you know, Kristen is picking up on, she would pick up on that right away. Like, huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Detective Doty would have got that one. But let's be honest. Stevie Wonder would have gotten that one. Like a blind Helen Keller would have gotten that one.
Exactly. So I was like, Luke, you tried it. They all check in the rooms, and Jesse also has a presidential suite that he has to share with Zach and Benji. And I'm like, how'd that happen? But
which is so odd. I want to take a moment to talk about this because I feel like it didn't get enough play on the show.
Yeah.
When Jesse checked in, they said, "Oh, you've been upgraded to a presidential suite," and he was like, "Oh, sick." And then they told Zach the same thing. It's the same suite. Like that is so. Were they? Now Benji is finally back, right? So like finally, like Zach and his new man are gonna have this vacation together.
Sure.
Were the three of you originally in a room together? Probably not.
Probably no. I'm sure not.
Right. So what is happening?
I don't know, because I was sitting here thinking, now how and why? I mean, you're in Maui. You first of all, this hotel should have more than one presidential. Maybe it was taken in, but why would they assume that I'm gonna upgrade you to be with the other two? You based off what? How did they know that he would even want? I mean, vice versa. They're a couple. Why would you want another dude in your?
On this huge trip together, they haven't seen each other in like a while. Like what?
I know.
Like what? Like what?
That is so crazy to me. And
so
I don't
weird.
know if they did it
so
for like
weird.
If they did it for like a comedic relief or I don't know, but I was like, what?
Completely. But like the three of them weren't gonna be in just like a regular like 2-queen bed hotel room.
No, never.
So like I just
so
don't
what
understand.
would make you group them together? That's what I'm like, based on what? It just
so weird. So weird. And then like no one talked about it. And I was like, why is no one talking about this?
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what?
I don't know.
Anyway, when Michelle and Aaron are in the room, she asked Aaron how it feels, you know, how he felt being around Jesse. Well, he's the one that basically said, I can breathe now that I'm in the room because I'm not around Jesse. And she asked him, did he say hi? He was like, nope, we didn't acknowledge each other. And he was like, listen, Michelle, I realize that he's going to be in our lives and maybe one day we'll go on a family trip. And Michelle's like, well, that's a long way off. And Aaron's like, well, it's just positive thinking. I'm thinking delusional thinking. Maybe someday, Joe. I don't know. Jada and Jason hope they have fun, but of course need to squash things with Nia. Who cares? Then everyone goes down and meets at the pool. Jason and Danny talk, and they decide to get the girls together so they can see if they can get them to make up so it won't be awkward. Here we go again.
Honest to God, it's like I feel like I'm watching it on like a loop.
It is on a loop. It is. It's the same stupid mess. As soon as they come together, Janet starts out, I apologize. I is that when she said, yeah, she'd had too much to drink, and that's when they ended the slick. Yeah, that early in the night? Yeah. And then she was like, yeah, but the margarita's really strong. Um,
You were all drinking margaritas at that table. No one else was
all
acting a
of
fool.
them. No one acting a fool but her. So, I mean, what are we doing? Were you drinking yours through a straw, like gulping it down? I mean, I don't know. But
Were you
acting
sneaking drinks, Janet?
right? Did you duck down?
Maybe she's doing that thing with Danny where like she's like projecting.
Projecting. Mm-hmm. That's a real
Maybe
thing.
she's in the bathroom drinking nippers out of her purse.
She could have been. Listen, she was acting, a good stiff margarita is good, but it don't make you act that vicious unless you just are that vicious. So
she is that vicious.
She's just that vicious. So Janet said, Nia, because when Nia finally got enough and left, she did say F you to Janet when she got up from the table, y'all. So she tells Nia, I deserve those F yous. And I'm thinking that and then some.
Yeah, that was, I thought that was very polite of Nia to only say that.
Me too. I told you there would be a lunge across that table. And quite frankly, if she wants to be a housewife so bad, try it on one of those franchises and see what you get. You would
That's
get
what
one.
I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to like let's throw Janet in like a bad girls club, or like let's like
get eaten up. I mean, nowadays, like they went straight from bad girls club, which I used to love, to baddies, which is brutal. I had to stop. Like that's so ghetto. I can't even do it anymore. But
yeah, I don't watch that. I mean, I used to watch Bad Girls Club like years ago, but I was also like a different. I was also like a different person, and I was like, oh, this is really entertaining. Now I'm like, this is so.
It's so mean. Yeah, and it's like it's so unrealistic because who is gonna throw whose bed out there? And I'm gonna sit, and particularly at that age, Joey, that whole house would have been tore up. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, some of them girls did tear it up. I mean, that was a thing, but it's like, why would you subject yourself to that? It's so stupid. They were not paying them like that. No,
like the Bad Girls Club Miami, those people were wild. When that girl Morgan like ruined like the production room and got thrown out like day one.
Yeah, listen, they found some crazy girl. I mean, those girls. Ooh, but I mean, you put them in there where they don't have anything to do but drink, and so what? What do you expect? I mean,
there we go on a tangent again.
Yeah. There we go. Here we go again, y'all. But we're back. So they then of course Danny apologized to Janet as well, which I wish he hadn't. He could have just left it, let her be in the spotlight and give her apology and just be quiet. But nope.
Like, he should never apologize to Janet. Nia should never apologize to Janet. Like, what are people doing?
I don't know.
Stand your ground, be like, you suck. You owe us an apology, or this friendship has to like is over, and we need to like move on.
It's over with. We want nothing further to do with you. Period. But here we go.
Yep.
And Nia, so Janet says she forgives him. Okay. And Nia's like, it's hard for her to be able to tell whether Janet's even being genuine. At this point, her wall is up because, she's just not going to keep doing this back and forth thing with Janet. And I don't blame her. They then thank them for inviting him on the trip because Janet says out of her mouth, had it been the other way around, had it been her, they would have cut them from the trip.
We're all fully aware. She didn't have to say it. Again, like I said earlier, that's an inside thought that should stay there.
Right. We could have, yeah. Yeah, we all knew that. So then we get over to Jesse, and the producer asks Jesse how he feels about Aaron being on the trip. And he's like, it's so effed up. He's like, I've had some issues with Aaron. He's dating my still wife that has my 4-year-old daughter. And he said, I would expect him as a man to call him and be like, listen, I'm spending a lot of time with your daughter. Do you have any boundaries? Now, not so sure that's how that works, though, Jesse. I
don't have kids. I have no opinion.
I do. And I mean, the responsibility is between Michelle and Jesse. So who you choose to be with, particularly, at this early stage in the game or whatever, that's between the two of them to make those calls, and him to set his boundaries on like having men around his daughter, all that. That's between them two. You know, I
That
mean,
makes sense.
Aaron can't do what Michelle doesn't allow. So his beef should be with Michelle.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then we go over to Luke and Kristen. Luke is just so nervous, and it's giving off the energy like he's frustrated or he's upset. And Kristen's confused, like, what's wrong? Have I done something? Which sucks because it's a surprise.
Sucks.
But yeah, because normally anything that's bothering him, he would talk to Kristen about it. But it's a surprise, so he's got to
But
kind
like,
of
what
bottle
does he
it up.
really think she's gonna say no? I mean, like, you're going to try to have a
I
kid.
don't
Like,
know.
what are you doing here?
I think he just wants it to be so perfect. He's just so freaking nervous. It's sweet and sad and cute and like all those things wrapped up into one. And she's basically like a little frustrated because she's like, Luke is normally such a good communicator, but it's just so cool because that's all going to end up so great. And so then we go to the scene where Zach and Benji are playing in the shower and Jesse's annoyed. Listen,
Because
that's
why are they sharing a room?
He's sitting there trying to, they're canoodling in the shower as they should, as an in love couple that just got reunited after being separated away from each other. And he's ironing and he's got these visions of Michelle and Aaron in his head. And poor thing.
I mean, like, honest to God, like, I know, like, everyone, like, we should be thankful, like, oh, I'm in Hawaii and I'm sure Bravo's paying for, like, the trip. But, like, really, like, what a bad trip for him off, like, the rim. Like,
for him. I mean, you got them, they're giddy and in love. You're watching your wife, like he said, they're still currently married, just, all handsy and in love with her guy. And you're just, that's bad, Joey.
yeah,
That's
you're
rough.
stuck in this room with these, like, newly, like, in love, like, gay dudes getting it on in, like, the shower. Like, I mean, like...
I felt for him. I really did.
So did I.
Yeah. So Jesse says he's working Jesse's like worked up and he tells the producer it actually makes him feel like he wants to punch Aaron in the face. And then we go to 2 hours later where he confronts Aaron and he asks him, did he or did he not cross the line when he was married to Michelle? That's emotional, physical, in any way did you cross the line? And y'all, the look on his face kind of told it all. I mean, Aaron's got big eyes, but he was like...
I know, but I mean, like, Jesse has got to control his emotions.
I know, because again, the responsibility, the person that had the loyalty to you, that was committed to you, that it was Michelle that had the she's the one that took the vow. Aaron doesn't really owe you anything. I mean, if y'all had been best friends, it might be different or whatever, but he didn't, as much as it sucks, he didn't take her kicking and screaming. She went willingly. So there's that, y'all. So y'all slide in the comments and let us know what you thought about last night's episode. Are y'all as over Jana as we are?
Is her one fan watching?
If so, y'all, please let us know. Identify yourself. We want to know. Like, please let us know. If you're out there, comment.
Yeah.
We won't judge you, I promise.
No, this is a safe space. I'm just really curious if she has one.
Me too. So, guys, real quick, we wanted to weigh in a little bit on Real Housewives of Miami. We are so going to add this to the lineup. We've got to just work out the logistics of it, so it's coming. But Joey, what did you think of so far the new season?
I mean, like Miami does, they came out swinging. I mean, it's only been 2 episodes. Episode 3's tonight, but I feel like there's like so much that like went on in like 2 like short episodes. Like Lisa is still with her man who looks like Sid the Sloth. I don't know what is happening. He is like doing drugs on television, like not even trying to hide it. I don't know what's going on.
Nope.
I know it's like I think it's unpopular opinion. I just like love Alexia, And like, I'm just like devastated for this situation that she's in. I've been told
Yeah.
a lot online that, of course, you love Alexia. She's the Teresa of Miami. And you know
I
what?
swear
Maybe
she
that's,
is.
and
I
maybe that's
think
why I
you
like
have
her.
a type. Yeah, I think you have a type, Joey.
You know, and I'm not mad about it. I'm so sad for what she's going through.
Yeah.
Larsa is still, I just like, again, I watch a lot of reality. There's like a lot of villains. I can't believe that Larsa Pippen is like a real person. Like, there's just no way she's not playing a role in my mind.
I would agree with you, but I've seen her
evil.
do it. I've seen her do it on villains. I mean, when she feels like someone's coming for her or whatever, I mean, she goes low.
No one's coming for her though.
But in her mind, Lisa's coming for her because she wants that blind loyalty. Like everybody around her should cut Marcus off to include
Lisa
your
didn't
man.
even go to the dinner, and Lisa has a whole grown adult ass man that like
does.
She wanted her to what? Grab him by his earlobe and drag him out of the restaurant? Like his friends were at the table.
I think that's what she expects. Is stupid. And she really, let me tell you really what she doesn't like. The fact that Lisa's not taking her crap. Lisa's like, girl, that's your problem. Listen, I can't control my man. And look, you do that over here because that's all you. And then when she called out, yeah, we left a real party for your fake breakup, that took her out the game. Y'all.
Let me tell you, I didn't think that Lisa had it in her. I'll be honest.
Me neither, but honey, Lisa is happy and healed, and she is not playing games, child. She's saying, not gonna bring drama over here. No. Nope. Which kind of sucks because Lisa was a train wreck, and Larsa really, but then Larsa was the one that told her, girl, you need to get it all the way together because Larsa would tell her the truth. So, I mean, I think it's fair that Lisa can do the same to her. You sound stupid. I mean,
she does, but Larsa always sounds stupid. And then sadly, I don't know what Julia's problem is this season. She adopted like 2 little kids, and like I don't know, like you're angry at something, you're taking it out on Gertie. Gertie didn't even do anything.
Nothing, literally nothing. I mean, she had something else to do.
Yeah, and then like
she apologized,
and then like for like Martina to be cold towards Gertie.
Wasn't that weird?
Shame on both of you.
Yeah, agreed. You would think because they both were presenting as way more mature than that. That's really beneath them both. I think. I'm like, that's odd.
Yeah, it is odd.
Mm-hmm. It is. Love Kiki as always.
Obsessed.
Wish they would make her a full-time housewife. I mean,
well, rumors are swirling that she is giving them an ultimatum and saying, "I'm walking or I'm a full-time." And I don't blame her. She has every right for that.
Every right to. There's no reason that she shouldn't be. She contributes just as much as some of the others. And with Nicole gone, I mean, they should. Anyway, we've yet to see the new one, so we'll reserve opinion for her. But I'm with you. I do hate seeing Alexia go through that. I'm weirded out though by how much of a hold Todd has over Alexia. She's normally stronger than that, so I hope that what we saw in episode 2 is real, and she won't. Because she's pretty much like F Todd when they were at the dinner. But I feel like it's
you mean the dinner where Gertie and who else wasn't invited? Gertie and... Was it
Gertie and Lisa? No. That makes everything about them.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about her friend that was in visiting Miami, from like Madrid, and she didn't want them to make it about her, and then proceeds to make the entire dinner about herself.
That is true. That is so true. That she did. I mean, all about her. And I was just like, isn't that rich?
Yeah.
But, that's part of Alexia's charm. I mean, listen.
It is. I find that funny.
I think it's funny, too. I love her fieriness. I mean, she does remind me a lot of Teresa. She does. They even talked. Teresa and her talked about the breakup.
They're very good friends.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't shock me, and I love them both for different reasons. I'm not as diehard as you, Joey, but there's no New Jersey without Teresa, and the same I feel with Alexia and Miami. That's like, I don't know. what I have to say, Marisol actually is making some sense with holding her down, trying to get her to see that Todd is a narcissist. Marisol usually gets on my last nerve.
But she's so funny.
She is funny. She is funny. I would give her that. She is funny. Like I said, this time, I mean, she's really not. Adriana does get on my nerves. She always finds her some man to get in his mouth. How inappropriate was that? And girl,
and I'm sorry, he's odd looking.
He is, and she's all like, "Oh, she's so proud. Look at my 6'4" French guy, and he's got a royalty title." Girl, I'm gonna tell you something, Joey. She's like that. Like, okay, like I know I throw out a lot of stuff about having a BravoCon, but I just have to say this: when I went to a Watch What Happens Live, it was can't remember, the party girl one, or I don't know how all the ladies were up there, different housewives. They were having a moment. Everybody was going all in about Captain Jason because Captain Jason is fine in person. He is fine. He's fine on TV too, but he really is fine. Everybody was a buzz about Captain Jason. The question up there was to Ashley about her and him because they were flirting at BravoCon. Do you know she just could not stand it? She interrupts and says, "Well, he came to visit me. He came to visit me in Miami, and I'm like, girl, first of all, Ashley,
I mean, come on. And I mean, don't get me wrong, she looks great.
She does look great, but she leads
Ashley,
with that so much. Girl,
Ashley is like jaw dropping.
Right, she is banging. So you're gonna make yourself look stupid. Don't make Captain Jason make you. You're telling your business because no one would have known that. They spent time off camera, honey. He came to visit her. They hooked up, but she was so proud so she could steal Ashley's moment. She gets on my nerves now. She does. She does. She does. And she's so gloated on trying to tear down Alexia and Todd. So I hate that she kind of has it. Yeah. And then how about her and Julia not being cool like that anymore? Mm-hmm.
But like that's so weird. Like again, like so I go back to like the middle school thing, right? Like, oh well, I distanced myself because she was getting close to Alexia and Marisol. Like, you guys are in like your like 50s. Like some of you are pushing 60. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. It's so stupid. But remember, I told you, Joey, inside of every woman lies that little 12 or 13-year-old girl that wants to be liked, that wants to be popular, that, wants to, I'm trying to tell you. You see it come out.
You always say that.
Yeah, yep. It's true. It's true. I got one too.
So do I.
Yeah, see? There you go. So yeah, guys, we're really excited about Miami. Can't wait to add that to the lineup. And so I will post about when we decide that we're going to do that. Really quick, Atlanta, Hate Break 80, thought that was the most disgusting thing between her and Kelly when she yells out about the whole abortion thing.
She's a real life nightmare.
She's disgusing.
Bravo, you know what? Bravo's getting their karma, though. That's what you get for hiring someone like that, keeping someone on the show like that. Now, no show the reunion. Now she's suing you. That's what you got.
That is what they get. Where was your return on investment there?
Like, honest to God. Although, you know what? And not Britt Edie. Like, ignore her. But I did love that Atlanta did have that moment I'm always talking about, where they're at each other's throats, and then there's a moment of togetherness.
Yeah.
When they were, where were they? Oh, Grenada.
Yeah.
And the moment where, that moment where Shamia got the news that her kid was sick and
blah,
blah, and they just dropped all their at each other's throats and, like, came together, and I was like, this is what I'm talking about.
That was nice. That really was. They were all supportive of her. Sad about Portia's cousin Lundy, but we had heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was that young. I knew she was young, but that young. Yeah. That, and then other quick thing though, the tease out though that it was Phaedra that paid that guy to come up to Angela Oakley and say he wanted to talk to her about her husband cheating. That is the tea out there, and it would not surprise me at all.
I didn't hear that.
That is the tea. Mm-hmm.
And dude, talk about a real one. You know me. I've been very about Angela Oakley. Definitely growing on me now that there's only one episode left. But
I know, right?
It took the whole season, but the way she handled herself at that cooking class when that guy came up to her, was such a class act.
Was it not?
And like even the way after, and then I really dawned on me, like she's never gotten loud.
Nope.
She's never gotten aggressive.
Nope.
Yet when she says something, you know that she means business.
You know
and I'm
she
like,
means
you know what?
it.
Maybe she is a real one.
She is.
It took me a whole season to get there.
Yeah, but I told you she's got that quiet confidence. She's got that old school housewife thing. Like, you know, like she leads with, she's got elegance going on about her. You know, she's got the thing with her husband, but that's their thing, their banter. She carries herself well. She's so unbothered by their stupidity. And when she needs to get in the paint, she can do it just as quietly. And she can check you without even raising her voice. Love her. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So y'all let us know what you think. Those are our thoughts on Miami, Atlanta. Slide in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. And y'all, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week, God willing. So again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop this good content. Final words, Joey?
No, that's all I got. The Valley, great. We have the finale of Atlanta. I feel like it was like a really fast season.
It did feel fast, yeah. Yeah.
Coming up, but Miami's back, thank God. I don't know if you watch it. I love it. McBee Dynasty returns next Monday.
I've never watched that, no.
Oh my gosh. It is so good. It is like real life. These like real life cowboys. And it's a father, his 3 sons. They own this farm and whatever, and they own car washes, oddly. But I'm telling you, if you have some time, which I know who has time nowadays, but it is good. And season 2 was so good. I guess it did so well on Peacock. It was a Peacock original, season 1, that's coming to Bravo Monday night, season 2.
Okay, I will check it out then. All right,
very excited.
I'll start back on Peacock and catch up, so I'll know the characters and the folks. But okay, I will have to add that to my roster. And real quick, I'm finally not quite caught up, but catching up with Love Island.
Wait, you're not caught up?
Not fully. I am on episode 13.
Okay, I think last night was what, 20 maybe?
I've got a long way to go. They keep coming at me.
Let me tell you something about Love Island. What a horrible season we're having. I am bored to death. No one's in a relationship. I don't think anyone's even there to find love. I think they're all there for fame and money. Wait until you watch last night's episode.
Oh my gosh, you make me want to skip. And that's just cheating.
You can't, but I'm telling you. Oh my god. I feel like this season, production like knows it's like going bad because I'm sure like they're like reading all like the blogs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like they are just like making it up on like the spot. Just like doing like random things like on the spot, like they don't know like what else to do to make it better. And woof.
Okay. Well, I got some more binge watching to do. I will say Hutta is not a accurate representation of North Carolina. Just for the record.
Oh, and see, why am I always coming with the unpopular? I like her.
You do, Joey.
Wait. Have you gotten to the Megan Thee Stallion episode yet?
I have not. Okay, so maybe my opinion will change.
Okay, so I was very like, like doing like the most, you know. There's an episode where Megan Thee Stallion comes out, and I feel like Huda really like turned things for me. That episode, I have a lot of people that disagree with me. I honestly believe that she might be one of the only people there that's actually there to find like love. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Her emotions. I mean, she just wanted to regulate them. But again, like these people are so young. I wish that next season they would go like a little bit older.
I agree.
You know, I don't know if older people would be doing these like weird makeout, rolling around in like mud challenges.
Yeah, you gotta kiss everybody.
Do you really like need those? Like those don't do anything. They're just like place fillers.
Honestly, don't. I mean, it's just like why? You know, you're supposed to be like, and you have to tongue swap with every. It's just gross. I couldn't. Or all these like, no.
But I don't know. But Huda really grew on me.
Okay, well maybe she'll grow on me. I mean, I wanted to like her when she said Raleigh, North Carolina. I was like, yes, ma'am. And then I was like, no, ma'am. I'm gonna
get eaten up in these comments. I know I am.
Y'all be gentle.
I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
But yeah, so I gotta catch up, and yeah, we'll give you our thoughts on Love Is Blind 2 next week once I get caught up. I got a lot of binge watching to do. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we're gonna bid you good night. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.